keep getting money so you can keep living the way you live it.
Hey,
Now, normal people
family.
say, I want to.
Sorry. I had some issues on my computer. I wanted to do the live stream on my computer, but unfortunately, I'm doing it from my phone. Welcome. I don't know if you can see me. And can you hear me? Welcome to the live stream. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is my audio good? What is that? I pressed somewhere. Let's see. Okay, now it's better. Yeah, let's stay in the comfort of my apartment. I'm in the living room. I'll show you quickly. Dining table. Full of books table. My study table with my amazing mentor, Ed Mallet. All right, welcome back. I'm wearing my shirt, Self-Love, Radiate, Rise, Reclaim. Nia is on YouTube, Learn with Nia. Radiate, Rise, Reclaim. Self-love is all about loving yourself first. I'm having dinner, so let's sit down and have a chat. Will you be my guest today? Whew, I'm eating soup today. Bismillah. Let's listen to Jeff.
I want to go buy a Jeep. I want to buy a truck, a Beamer, Mercedes. I want to buy stuff. I don't just want to live on welfare. And the Democrats say, well, if you make too much money, we're going to kick you off of welfare. And that $2,400 a month mortgage that you got to pay, the $2,400 a month rent you got to pay for a landlord, we're not going to cover that because you decided to go out and make too much money. It's a control mechanism. This entire economy that's held up by Democrats was tax dollar based. And people are still voting for the Democrats because they don't even see it. They're keeping you under control by making you believe the economy is doing better, making you believe you're doing better. But you can look at your own bank account and say, I'm not doing better. My bills are getting paid, but it's tax dollars paying my bills. If I gave you as an employer $500 as an employer, you would live within your means with that $500. You get $100 a day, you're living within your means. The moment I tell you that in addition to that 500, I'm going to give you another 1,000 on top of it, you're not going to live within your means. I'm giving you an additional $1,000 free EBT. You're going to start living differently now. And that's what people are doing. They're living differently now. They're saying, why am I sitting here living like I don't have money when the government's going to give me an extra grand, an extra $2,000, an extra $4,000? I can live like I got money. It's simulated life. It's not even your real life. You're living above your means, beyond your means. It's a simulated life, not a real life you work for. So it can be taken away from you. And this is why the Democrats want you dependent on it, because they want control over you. They want to say, if you don't keep voting for us, we're going to take away your benefits. Just like right now, the Democrats won't vote for you to get benefits, so it makes it look like Trump took away your benefits. Trump is saying, I'm not giving you 1.5 million for illegals. I'm not doing that. That's what Trump is saying. Actually, that number is 1.5 trillion. My bad. Said, we'll take care of the Americans, but we're not giving you the extra money to take care of the illegals because we know you're laundering money and you're putting it through illegals to all your elite friends and your elite corporation buddies and stuff. We know what you're doing with the money. You're just laundering money through taxpayers is all you're doing. Republicans have figured it out. The Democrats are like, why ain't we getting tax dollars? Why ain't we getting EBT? Why ain't we getting SNAP? Why ain't we? Because you haven't figured it out yet. They're doing it to play with your mind. They're doing it to keep you under control. Just like now, if you were like me and you had a job and you had assets, not really because a lot of people on SNAP do have jobs, but if you had a job that paid for the life you live, you had assets you can sell. You had a way to make more money to where you don't rely on SNAP. They wouldn't have control over you. Exactly. Democrats don't like Republicans because we don't want government to control us. Democrats like Democrats because you guys are like, control us, please. What do you want us to do? If you pay my rent, if you buy my food, do what you want to do. I don't care. As long as you pay my rent and pay my bills, I'll vote you in. That's control. It's all.
Can you hear me? Is the audio good? Let me check. Let me check on my computer. Oh, Dora, welcome, welcome, baby. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Dora, welcome, welcome, baby. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Audio is good. I just checked. Thank you so much. So tonight live stream is why I didn't vote Democrats yesterday here in New York City. And yeah, let's chat about it. Democrat, Republicans, liberal, independent, all that good stuff. I'm eating some soup tonight. I made 2 eggs. Let me show you. I made 2 eggs and I put it in the soup. So that's what I'm eating. I was so hungry. I'm listening to Jeff from the Mic Drop Barbecue. The Mic Drop BBQ. Go and subscribe. He has tons of videos, super beneficial, very valuable. Talks about how to become an entrepreneur, to be an independent contractor, to be a ride-share driver. He's in Arizona, I think, yeah, Phoenix. Ton of knowledge on his channel, the Mic Drop BBQ. Talks about how to make money, how to get out of poverty. He hates poverty. I am against poverty. I used to be homeless. I used to be super broke. I used to be very poor. I hit rock bottom years ago. But even though I was ashamed and embarrassed, I managed to one day swallow my pride and just go out there and ask somebody for help. That's what you have to do. You have to let the ego out the door. Kick it to the curb, and don't be embarrassed and go ask for help. There's so many resources here in America. There's no way you can be someone who doesn't have food, for example, especially now with the food crisis, EBT, food stamps, SNAP being taken away. And I just heard that actually they are going to send some food stamp to food stamp recipients. Did you hear about it? So I was sharing on the comment section of Jeff's channel, the Mic Drop BBQ. I share there that you can actually go to churches, mosques, synagogues. I'm sure you can go there also to Jewish people's place of worship and just ask for money, ask for food. If you are in need, there's always people ready to help. Why do you think they have the GoFundMe? People go there to ask for donation, for money, and people help. These people are willing to help. People that are millionaires, billionaires, they just want to give their money away. There's free money called grants. You just Google everything, you do your research online, go ask a neighbor, ask a friend, a coworker. Don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed. Swallow your ego, your pride, and go out there and ask. Okay, let's listen to Jeff while I finish my dinner.
All mental. And you guys are falling for it each time.
Here, by the way.
When you should be saying, make my life better. Don't just keep giving me money, putting Band-Aid on. Give me an education. Give me a way to make more money. Pay me a wage that I can earn every day that's a livable wage. Don't keep underpaying me, but saying, well, we're going to just give you some extra money on top of it. That doesn't make your life better. It just makes you more under control. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't get benefits. I own this house. I own this Jeep right there,
nice.
The truck in front of me, the BMW on that side, the Escalade around there. I got the big F-150 center as my neighbors, and I got the Mercedes sitting right here. Plus, I got the motorcycle in the garage. I don't get benefits.
Nice.
I work. When you come up the mindset that you work and the Democrats can't control you, you live how you want to live. I can go shop every day if I feel like it. I don't have to wait for SNAP. I don't have to wait for somebody to say, hey, we'll pay your mortgage for you. No, I can do it all myself because I wake up and do it. For the people that make excuses every day, Democrats love those kind of people. Make an excuse for what? Well, I don't have the education.
No excuses. We don't make excuses in this channel, okay? Learn with Nia is all about elevating, leveling up, empowering ourselves so we can go out there and inspire other people, okay? Every single day we are making a difference in someone's life, in our own life, and we are leaving a positive impact, okay? We are being productive, we are being inspirational, we are being helpful, we are being resourceful, we are being pragmatic, we are being diplomatic, we are being kind, compassionate, and we be out there and we struggle and we work hard, okay? Thank you so much for being here. I don't know, I think I saw a comment, but that it was removed maybe.
Well, I just don't have the willpower. I got too many kids. They love people who make up excuses because they like, we can control that person. If we allow them to keep making excuses and promise we're going to give them money, we got control over them. That's a vote we got. Why do you think they want illegals over here? They need more votes because more people are waking up and realizing the Democratic game. It's not to make your life better. It's to keep you under control even more. So for all the people that voted in New York, New Jersey, and Virginia who voted Democrat just now, tell me, what does your bank account look like? You've been voting Democrat for how long? How has your life been? I stopped voting Democrat, 17 years ago. My life has been amazing since then because it taught me to be around like-minded people, to not be around people who make excuses, to be around people who want to make a living, make a nice life for themselves. And that's what I do. You hang out with people that make excuses, you're going to start making excuses.
Exactly. What Jeff just said here, if you hang around people who makes excuses all the time, you're going to end up doing the same thing and also making excuses. Remember, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around that you spend the most time with. So be careful about who you spend time with, your association, the friends that you have. Could be co-workers, could be family members, could be relatives, could be neighbors, people that you spend the most time with. Just be very, very mindful and careful about that. Like they say, if you always around drug addicts, you're gonna end up being a drug addict. If you're always around alcoholics, around people that are always gambling, people that are always mischieving, getting into trouble, you're gonna end up copying them, emulating from them, and doing the same thing they are doing, right?
Hang out with people who got a reason for why they don't have something, you're gonna have a reason why you don't have it too. And the first thing you're gonna do is turn around and say, well, the government should give us. The government should just give us.
No.
The government's not giving you nothing. Taxpayers are giving you something. We're the workers. The more of us that work, the more taxes it is. The more taxes it is, and you got people like the Democrats in office, the more they want to spend it. And ever since USA collapsed, ever since they collapsed that, what have the Democrats been doing? Crying and arguing. They've not said a single thing to help out the American people. They want those tax dollars because they were being funneled those tax dollars. That's what they're upset about USA. They want to make it seem like, oh, President Trump destroyed USA. He's destroyed a great life for everybody. How has your life been great?
No. President Trump didn't destroy this country. It's the people that don't unite to make it better, to change their lives, to make a difference, who rather sit down, be lazy on the couch, watch TV all day long, play video games all day, all night. These are the people that are destroying American society. But those people that are making a difference, are making money moves, that are being out there, making a difference, helping people, being of service, being productive, these are the people that you need to be around, that you need to emulate from and copy and watch and observe, so you can also improve your own life. Leave a legacy. It's about leaving a legacy, because you don't know, tomorrow might be your last day here on earth. How you want to be remembered. If you have children, I have 4, and I just want them to live the best life that they can, be the best version of themselves, but also know that I work hard so they could have a good life. They could have it better than I did. I was in the shelter system. I used to receive food stamp. They call it not SNAP. government assistance, and I'm very grateful that they have helped me over the years. It was necessary, I needed it, but I did have to also swallow my pride and my ego and just say, you know what, it doesn't matter. I feel embarrassed, but I'm gonna go to the offices and apply and reapply and recertify, because that's what you have to do every year. You have to recertify, especially if you live in the low income housing projects or you are in this type of communities. They want you to always report your income, how much money is coming in, because they want to calculate correctly how much rent you're going to pay. And also, there's people that have been abusing the system. They have done fraud, they have committed fraudulent transactions, they have lied on their applications. They have said that they needed food stamp when they did not need food stamp. All this is the reason this country is going down the way it is. We're supposed to improve our lives, not make it worse. We're supposed to be better, do better, and feel better. So we have so many different crises. We have financial crisis, we have mental health crisis, we have domestic abuse, domestic violence. We just left the month, October was the month of domestic abuse, domestic violence awareness month. But still to this day, there's still Americans suffering in their homes. People abusing them verbally, physically, financially, economically, psychologically, mentally. And then you have also the crisis in nursing homes. You have people that have no business working with senior citizens, with old people, with elderly people, and they are being hired and they are starving. There's a situation, I think a woman, she posted on YouTube or on one of those social media platforms that she was crying, and she said that she came back the following morning to see one of her patients, and the food that she had left, she had left for the patient was still on the table, on the tray. He did not touch it because the person that was supposed to feed him, to help him, never gave him the food. So you have all these type of crises. You have elderly abuse. People, they become home health attendants and they abuse the patients. You have all these type of crises in this country, and we're supposed to be so advanced with all this technology, but it's unbelievable how it's just going down. And it's only a small group of people that have some senses that's telling you the right thing, that's telling you the truth, the facts. And we are called crazy or conspiracy theorists. No, we are telling the truth. We're trying to bring awareness, waking up the masses, telling people exactly how things are. That's why yesterday I did not vote for Democrats.
USA has been around for a long time. You've been poor for a long time. You ain't getting none of that USA money, but these politicians are getting richer and richer and richer. USA was for them. It wasn't for you. They keep you under control by saying, we're going to make sure rents are high. We're going to make sure you don't have enough money to live, but we're going to give you assistance. We're going to do that for you as a government. They're not doing that. We, as taxpayers, are doing that. And what we want to do is get you to the position where you can take care of yourself, live within your means, get off of welfare. If you're not looking for a path to get off of welfare, then maybe you're the problem. I appreciate people who are speaking on both sides of this debate. Now, usually Democrats don't like us to debate. They like to give mandates. Even during COVID, when we tried to debate during COVID, they called everything we said misinformation. It all ended up becoming true. They didn't like anybody talking about anything. They would just shadow ban you and censor you if you had tried to have a discussion. The Democrats do not like debate. They like to tell you what to do, and then you just go do it. It's a control mechanism. So feel free to have debates, constructive debates on my channel. Destructive debates, we don't quite do that too well. But constructive debates, have at it. Knock yourself out. Don't forget, like this video if you like it. If you don't like it, thumbs down it. Don't make a difference to me. It makes it.
Yes, I don't care about people that come to the channel and are being negative. I just delete, ignore, ban, and block. I care about the people that support me, that are on the same page as me, that are in alignment with my principles, my values, the ideas that I have. And if you have any suggestions, you have any questions, any concerns, always come to the chat. If it's not disabled, you can write down your concern, your comments. But as far as toxic, negative vibes, people, I don't like. I don't like drama to begin with. I can't stand it. I'm at that age where, yeah, I can't. I just can't stand the drama, the bickering. These people that are always coming up with some ridiculous claim and they're starting trouble online, like they have nothing better to do with their life. I don't deal with that. So, because I'm Muslim and my life, I have to make sure that I live according. Oh, 1 second. My son is here. Hey, Eddie.
Hello.
I'm on the live, ça va?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. Is it better at 9?
9 o'clock, yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to brush your teeth.
Alright.
Love you. Bye. My son, my youngest. Yes, so because I'm a Muslim, I try to live my life according to the Quran teachings, the Sunnah, meaning the example of the last prophet of God, which is Muhammad, peace be upon him. So everything we do in life, in this life, as Muslims, we have to be very careful. We have to have the right intention, and we have to think, especially when it comes to habits, customs that are not of Islam, meaning not from the Quran or the Sunnah. So I'm going to read you an article so you can better understand my position. I have to wear my glasses. I'm an old lady. I'm going to be 52. Well, I'm 52 according to the Islamic calendar. I'm going to be 52 in less than 2 months. And my eyesight, because I've been consuming too much sugar, so sometimes it's a little blurry. That's why I have my reading glasses. Okay. According to Islam, it is not permissible to run for or vote in democratic elections. The Guardian newspaper reported on July 2nd, 2024, regarding Australia. A new grassroots political movement called the Muslim Vote says it will back at least 3 independent candidates aiming to topple Labour ministers and the government whip in Western Sydney at the next federal election. The Muslim Vote, established in response to community anger at Labour's handling of the war in Gaza, plans to back candidates in Watson, Blanksland, and Wiriwa, a spokesperson said on Tuesday. Indeed, Muslim participation in democracy is a concern for rulers, politicians, intellectuals, and policymakers. This is whether the Muslims are in the Muslim world or living as diasporas in the West. Thus, there is debate about Muslims participating in democracy in Australia, Britain, and the United States, just as there is debate about Muslims participating in elections in Turkey, Pakistan, and Egypt. The issue of Muslim electoral participation has become a greater concern in recent months in the light of Muslim response towards Gaza. Muslims are angry with the existing governments and systems of ruling because of their injustice regarding the issues of Gaza. As with any issue in life, the Muslims turn to the Deen of Islam. Deen, D-E-E-N, is the Arabic word and it means way of life, because Islam is not just a religion, it's a way of life. Hi, thank you so much for being here. Hey Arthur, welcome to Learn with Nia. I'm reading an article here regarding voting as Muslims. The people decide what is permitted. The reality of the secular state is that it is based on democracy. It is built on the idea of sovereignty for the people through their representatives. The people decide what is permitted and what is forbidden. If the people permit marriage between 2 men, it is permitted by law. If the people forbid the wearing of the covering for modesty, it is forbidden by law. The reality of the parliament is that of a legislative authority. It approves the constitution in force in the country. It enacts the laws that are obligated on the executive and judicial authorities. This is in addition to other powers, include the right to grant or withhold confidence from the government and the right to monitor the executive authority and hold it accountable for any action it implements. The reality of democracy is that it contradicts Islam. Islam is an Arabic word and it means submission to one God, the Creator, Allah. In Islam, Allah is the only sovereign. He does not share sovereignty with the people. He alone decides what is permissible, what is forbidden. If he forbids marriage between two men, the people cannot make it permissible. Hey, hi! My brother from another mother, Bob. Bob says, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And to all the Ummah. Ummah is an Arabic word. It means community or nation. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, Bob, my dear brother. I'm reading an article here about voting and what Islam says. If God obliged the wearing of the covering, the people cannot forbid it. So when we live here in America, in the Western world, and we are Muslim women, and we cover because we choose to do so, because we want to walk outside in public looking modest, that is a choice we're making. And we do it because we have read the Quran, and the Quran says, God says, that we're supposed to cover modestly when we are outside in public. We're not supposed to walk around half naked. So it's part of our culture as Muslim people. But also in the Bible, did you know that you're supposed to dress modestly? And women and men in Islam are supposed to dress modestly. It's not just for women. The hijab is also for Muslim men. All right, just to let you know. And when you walk around, I'm sure you have noticed there's Jewish women that look very modest, Christian women that looks very modest, and also people that have no particular faith religiously, and they dress in a modest fashion. Bob says, the irony of telling women they don't have the choice to cover in a free country. Yes, it's very hypocritical, yes? We have freedom. Yes, this is a free country here in America, in North America, but then they don't want us to freely dress the way we want, and we don't want to show off our goodies, you know? Only to our man, if we have a man, or to our father, our son, you know, there's a particular group of people, it's all in the Quran, very detailed, who we're supposed to show our attire and not be fully covered in front of. Okay, the evidence of the ruling by all that Allah has revealed are divine text in the form of definite text with definite meanings. As one example, Allah, meaning God, the Creator, says in his Quran, in his revelation, and whosoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, such are the disbelievers. So what does that mean? That means the people that do not judge by what Allah has revealed, they are the ones that do not believe in what Allah has revealed, which makes sense, right? Whoever rejects what Allah has revealed will have committed kufr. Kufr is an Arabic word, K-U-F-R, and it means disbelief. Whoever rejects what Allah has revealed will have committed kufr, will have committed disbelief. And whoever accepts what Allah has revealed but did not rule by it is a zalim, an unjust person, zalim, and a fasiq, a rebellious person, and a sinner. That's narrated by Ibn Jarir. There are many evidences which are of definite text and definite meanings, which include in chapter 5 of the Quran, Ma'idah, the table spread, in verse 49. And judge, O Muhammad, between them by what Allah has revealed, and do not follow their inclinations, and beware of them, lest they tempt you away from some of what Allah has revealed to you. That's chapter 5. You can go check it out in the Quran, verse 49. The rule is for none but Allah. That's in chapter Joseph, verse 40. But no, by your law they will not truly believe until they make you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, judge concerning that over which they dispute among themselves, and then find within themselves no discomfort from what you have judged, and submit in full willing submission. That's chapter the woman and Nisa, chapter 4 in the Quran, verse 65. Then, is it the judgment of the time of ignorance they desire? But who is better than Allah God in judgment for people who are certain in faith? That's chapter 5, again, the table spread in the Quran, verse 50. As for the blessed Sunnah, meaning the best example, the example of the Prophet, the last messenger of God, we see that the Prophet did not participate in the system where Allah is not sovereign, is not Lord. The kuffar, meaning the disbelievers, the one that did not accept, they rejected the Quran, the Islamic teaching. At the time of the Prophet in Arabia, there were infidels, like they say nowadays. They were disbelievers. They were Arabs, but they rejected Islam. They did not want the Quran's teaching. And they were the kuffar, the disbelievers, of courage. They had offered the Prophet that he rules over them with their own laws, not Islam. He, of course, refused because it was completely against what Allah has revealed and what God permits. According to the Sirah of Ibn Ishaq, it was narrated from Ikrimah, from Ibn Abbas, that Utbah and Shayba, son of Rabia, and Abu Sufyan ibn Harb, and Nadr bin al-Arith, brothers of Bani Ad-Dar, and Aba al-Bukhturi, brothers of Bani Asad, and others, they met. Yes, it's what the Crusaders called us. Infidels. They met all those who met among them after sunset behind the Kaaba. The Kaaba is that cube-looking building that is black, that is in the middle of the, where we do the pilgrimage, the Hajj in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Some said to each other, summon Muhammad and speak to him and discuss with him and make up with him. They called him and said to him, O Muhammad, we have sent you to make up with you. If you came with this talk to ask for money, then we will collect it for you from our money so that you be the richest among us. But if you demand honor, we will give you power over us. If you want leadership, we will make you our leader. The Prophet said, oh, I wish I could say that in Arabic. It's so beautiful. I love the Arabic letters, the Arabic language. All right, the hadith says, I do not accept what you say. What I brought to you is not for the sake of money or honor among you or leadership over you. Allah, meaning God, the Creator, sent me as a messenger to you. He sent down to me the book. He ordered me to be the bearer of glad tidings to you and be your guide. So I delivered to you the message of my Lord, and I advise you, if you accept what I have brought to you, it will bring you the good in this world and the hereafter, meaning after we die and that we are resurrected. However, if you refuse, then I will wait for the decision of God, Allah, to judge between me and you. Beautiful. The Quraysh, meaning the Arabs that did not believe in Islam, in the Prophet of God, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they also offered him to engage in power sharing, some from them and some from him. So they proposed to worship his Lord for 1 year, and he worshiped their Lord for another year, the next year. But he refused. He completely said no. He rejected their proposal, and he wanted Islam alone. to rule. And there's a tafsir of Al-Qurtubi of Surah Al-Kafirun, the disbelievers. That's chapter the disbeliever in the Quran. Say, O disbelievers, he said. Ibn Ishaq and others from Ibn Abbas said that the cause of revelation of the surah that Al-Walid bin Al-Mughira and Al-As ibn Wa'il and Al-Aswad bin Abdul Muttalib and Umayyah bin Khalaf met the messenger of God and said, O Muhammad, let us you worship what you worship. You worship what we worship. We share with you the whole of our matters. If what you brought was better than what we have currently, then we will share it with you. And we take our share from it. However, if what is in our hands is better than what is in your hand, then you will share our matter and take your share from it. Allah Almighty sent down, say, O disbelievers. That's when God sent the chapter called the disbelievers, Al-Kafirun. The rejection by the Prophet of participating in a system of non-Islamic legislation is also made very clear by the classical Mufassir at-Tabari. Muhammad ibn Musa al-Harashi mentioned, he said, Abu Khalaf said, Dawood said, from Ikrimah on the authority of Ibn Abbas, that Quraysh promised to the messenger of God, we offer you one matter, it will be yours and it is good for us. He said, what is it? They said, worship our God for 1 year, our gods, because the Arabs of the time of the Prophet, they were idol worshippers. They had different gods, like 360 different gods. Lat was one of them that they worship. Uzza was another of those idols that they worship. So they say, worship our gods for 1 year, Lat and Uzza, and we worship your God, Allah, for a year. He said, I will wait and see what my Lord decrees. The revelation came from Allah al-Mahfuz. Say, O disbelievers. So, in other words, it is not Islamic for us Muslims to participate in these elections, voting Democrats, Republicans, which in the end, when you really think about it and when you really study, it's the same coin, just two sides of the same coin. Explicit evidences from the Holy Quran, the Noble Quran, and prophetic Sunnah definitely forbid ruling by other than all that Allah has revealed. They forbid all participation in such ruling. No one stands against such clear evidence except those who disobeyed Allah and His Messenger openly. Any argument they bring is refutable. Their disobedience will engulf them with disgrace in this world, though the torment of Allah is the most severe. The elected representative is part of the legislative process, and so is undertaking a forbidden act. The representative represents people in expressing their opinion about legislation. In this respect, he is their representative. If a Muslim enters the parliament approving of this non-Islamic system, which makes sovereignty for the people and not for the Sharia, then he is undoubtedly sinning. So the Sharia, I know a lot of people make fun of it, calling it the Shakira law. It's very simply the natural law, the law of God, the divine law. That's what Sharia is, the way, the path, the law of God. So whatever is good that God tells you to do, that's part of the Sharia. You raising your children the right way, giving them good upbringing, teaching them respect, teaching them compassion, to forgive, to be patient, to do their homework, to listen to teachers, to do the dishes, to clean and help around the house with chores. All that is part of Sharia. People are really deluded when they keep saying, oh, Sharia, we don't want Sharia law. Sharia law have been in existence since Adam and Eve, the first humans. You need to really study and understand. You cannot just repeat like a parrot whatever you hear on the news or what someone tells you in your neighborhood or when you read something online without knowledge, without investigating, without questioning it for yourself. You need to do your due diligence. It's like blindly following and blind faith. God said, no, you need to question. That's why he tells us, use your intellect. He gave you a brain. Think for yourself. Don't just repeat whatever somebody else tells you. It's like also when you hear some news of somebody that supposedly did something bad, something evil, committed a crime. You just go and just listen to it and believe it? No. You go and investigate and find out. Imagine it's somebody that say that your own kid or somebody that you really treasure and cherish committed an awful crime. Are you going to just accept it? No, you're going to do your due diligence and find out for yourself if it's true, if it's fact or no. So it's the same thing with Sharia, with anything you hear about Islam, about Muslims. Unless you truly know, you have facts, don't just go repeat or believe everything you hear on the news or you see on the television if you are somebody who's still watching TV. I don't watch television, I watch YouTube. So yes, if you go to work, you are doing Sharia law because it's the law, the divine law, the natural law. When you're eating an apple, when the sun sets or rises, that's Sharia law. That's the divine law. And it's the best law ever because it comes from the creator of the universe. Great is the hatred in the sight of Allah when you say what you do not do. That's Asaf, verse 3. Voting for a representative is also a forbidden act. The voter will entrust individuals on his behalf to carry out the forbidden acts. If we look at these actions, we find them all haram. Haram is an Arabic word, it means prohibited. Because they are based on falsehood, which is to give people the power to legislate instead of Allah, instead of God. So when these people, politicians, come together and tell you, yes, vote for a man and a man to live together as a married couple, to be husband and husband, that is completely contradictory to the law of God. That is against God's divine decree. He said marriage is between a woman and a man. Now, if you disagree with what I say, we agree to disagree. That's my belief, that's my opinion, that's what I know to be true. That's my own knowledge of what I'm saying about what God says regarding this particular matter and topic. Now, if you're not happy about what you have heard so far from me, I'm not apologizing, but you are free to exit, okay? And welcome if you want to continue listening to me. You are free to stay. I do not accept disrespect on my channel and any foul language. I will delete, I will block, I will erase. Thank you very much for respecting my rules. If a Muslim who votes knows that his representative will choose legislation or a man-made law or votes in its favor, then he is sinning. This is in addition to the fact that it is not permissible in origin to delegate for an act that is forbidden by Sharia. Just because a pious person nominates or delegates someone to transport alcohol on his behalf, that does not make that transportation permitted, let alone the delegation of that sinful task. Bob says, women aren't real. They can't hurt me. Oh, Bob, I'm just seeing the comment below, the previous comment. You say, but what is a woman even? Yeah, the French people, years ago, they were questioning if a woman has a soul, if she was a human being, if a woman was real. I'm here, I'm real. And indeed, the most disliked among you to me, and the ones sitting furthest from me on the day of judgment are the Thartharun, Pompous, and the Mutashadikun, Garolos, and the Mutafahikun. They say, "Oh, messenger of Allah, we know about the Thartharun and the Mutashadikun, but what about the Faihikun. I'm sure I butchered that. And he said, these are the arrogant. Yes, let's talk about arrogant people. So this is what I wanted to share with you about voting and what Islam says about voting. Yeah, arrogant people. Let's talk about arrogance. So what is arrogance? Arrogance, according to what we know, it's denying the truth and looking down on others. So you know the truth, you know it when you hear it, when people say it to you, but you just reject it. That means you're an arrogant person. And you look down on people like you think you're better than everybody else, you're superior to them because maybe of your skin color, or the language you speak, or the country you were born in, or the degrees you had, diplomas, or how much money you have in your bank accounts, all that stuff. The skills, the talents you have achieved, and you are providing someone, all that. If you say that you are better than anyone else because of all these things, you are an arrogant person. And God doesn't like the arrogance. God says that arrogance has no place in paradise, in heaven. So if you want to go to heaven, you want to be with God and his angels, you have to get rid of that arrogance. You cannot look down on others, especially people that are lower than you, that have less than you material-wise, meaning they don't have so much money, they probably don't have a fancy house, they don't have a car. There's people that have 2, 3, 4 cars, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wealth is a beautiful thing, and actually we're supposed to, even as Muslims, we're supposed to amass wealth, fortune. But what do you do with that? That is the difference, okay? God is going to ask you about that. There's 5 questions that we are going to be asked about. Our use, how we spent it, the money, how we spent it, how we earned it, our time, what else? Our life, what we did with it, all the knowledge that we were given. Did we share with others? You know, when you know something and you know it's going to be beneficial, are you going to keep it to yourself, or are you going to share it with others and teach others? That's why as Muslim, we are supposed to read the Quran, learn some chapters in its Arabic text, and then go and teach others. And you get rewarded for that. You get a lot of, like they say, points, blessings. Your life will be so beautiful, and you will have so much in terms of peace, peace of mind, tranquility of your heart, serenity, blessings in your home, in your house. Of course, we're going to have problems. That's inevitable. That's part of life, good and bad. If you don't have the bad, then you don't understand the good. If you don't have the good, then you don't understand the bad. It has to be balanced. And we are all being tested in this life. Remember that. As Muslim, as a believer, I truly believe that everything that has happened to me was actually blessings in disguise. Even the bad thing, me being homeless, me being abused in previous intimate relationship, in marriages, me being taken advantage of, me being humiliated, me being physically abused, mentally, emotionally, sexually. I was even assaulted here in my own living room here last year. I know I haven't shared that with a lot of people. A man that I trusted, I met him at Home Depot. You know how I love promoting people business and helping. I try. I'm a giver. I'm an empath. So I saw him with his little kid, and he was giving business cards. So I said, oh, let me help him out. He need money, so I'm going to hire him. So I needed my floor to be fixed. So I hired him, and he came. He's a Latino. I'm not going to reveal the country, but he's a Latino. He came in, started doing my floor, we're chatting. I'm teaching him, talking about Islam. You know, I'm always promoting Islam. That's my passion, that's my life, you can tell. Talking about God, and he knew a lot, and he always wanted to. That's what he told me, he wanted to be Muslim. So I gave him a shahada. But in my living room, while he was doing the floors, he was trying to kiss me, and I started pushing me off, and he was like forcing himself onto me. But okay, long story short, thank God we didn't die. My kids were sleeping, my sons were in their rooms. I managed to have the guy leave, and then he brought his son to, and I had his son sleep for a few hours to rest. I gave his son food, dinner. His mother dropped him off. So the man was doing the floor. I let him shower. I'm a very kind, very friendly woman, very nice person.
The difference to you.
And sorry, my computer started again. And I trusted him, but he came in with the intention to start doing something with me that was not very halal, and I did not want that whatsoever. I wanted just to help him out. Thank God he left, and whew, after that, I refused to talk to men outside and I bring them in to help around the house. No, the only people that I let in is for management, and they show me who they are, and I know who they are from management. Then they come and take care. Like about 2 weeks ago, some man came and did my ceiling. There was a leak, and he fixed it. He did a plaster job, but that's about it. So yes, you have to be very careful who you let in your home. By the way, ladies, please be careful. And it happened also to men. There's men that have been sexually assaulted and sexually abused. Yes, I talk about domestic violence, domestic abuse as a survivor, as a former victim, because I'm here to empower all my amazing ladies and some men that have been abused, that are in abusive marriage, in abusive relationship. And I'm here as a living proof to let you know that it is possible. Yes, you can get out, but you need to first admit that you are being abused. A lot of people, it's only after they leave, and some it's years, 20, 30, 40 years after they've done therapy, they divorced, they try to move on, they went through depression, panic attacks, anxiety, thoughts of suicide. I went through all that. I went through all those emotions. Trust me, in 2019, I wanted to end my life. Yes, July 2019, in a hotel room with my ex-husband that was giving me so much emotional hardship, trauma, abuse, that I wanted to end it right there. I got a phone call that saved my life. Yes, a phone call telling me that my first love's sister had passed away. That's the phone call. You know how they say things always happen for a reason, and it's always blessing in disguise. It was a very sad news. My first love's sister passed away from cancer. I got a phone call from the mother telling me that while I'm in the hotel room trying to end my own life. That was a wake-up call. Ever since that day, July 2019, I never had any thought of ending my own life. All right, so let me digress. I was talking about domestic abuse. It happens to men, it happens to children, it happens to anybody. And regardless, it can happen to somebody who's super educated, super smart, intelligent, doing well for themselves. Because these people, these narcissistic people, they're very clever, and they will love bomb you, being so charming at the very beginning, saying all the right thing, and lure you, hook you until you fall prey to their wicked intentions. And all they want is power over you, to control you. That's it. They will manipulate you, gaslight you, make you doubt your own reality and think they're really happening the way you are actually seeing them and feeling them. They will blame you for things that are their own fault. They will criticize you. They will shift the blame so they can feel like they're in power and always in control. You have to stay away from this type of people. They are everywhere. They are in the government, they are in the educational system, in schools, they are in the police, law enforcement department, they are in church. Oh my goodness, let me not start that. Pastors, priests. You have a lot of stories, true crime stories, where you have pastor, high-ranking officers in the army, military, navy. You have these people, they look so good on the outside, but behind closed door, oh my Lord, it's another story. They are tyrants, they're abusive. but then they smile, and they're always doing philanthropy, helping right and left, being in a humanitarian. Telling you some of these big people names that are doing so much for Africa, so-called doing so much for Africa, African people, African children, orphans. Be very careful, because some of these people, they're hiding behind those organizations on purpose while they're doing all these disgusting, nasty things to children. And we have seen it so many times on the news. You go see on the news, on the television, and on YouTube, and you found out that person that was building mosques, schools, were teaching kids in school, Sunday schools, they were actually sexually abusive. And then you found out years down the road. So you have to be super careful. We live in an era with a lot of these covert narcissistic people. Covert because they're very sleek, sneaky. It's very subtle. You can barely see it. Now I can smell it miles away. I know the red flags because I was abused. I was a victim. I'm a survivor. I know these people, it's like they graduated from the same school. They have that PhD of being narcissists. So study them. I observe people. I don't say too much when I meet someone. I observe you first. I'm always civil, polite, friendly, because this is my character. This is my personality. This is who I am. I'm an empath. So I suck up energy. That's why I'm very careful who I surround myself with. And I'm by myself. I stay to myself on my couch here. When I come from work, I'm tired. I'm here on YouTube studying, writing, reading. Writing, I'm supposed to finish. Actually, I'm going to show you. I'm going to read to you even better. So first, I'm going to show you talking about reading and writing. I love books, so who know? I wrote my book in this book. I wrote my story. This is me back in 2021. I was 47 years old. And my story is in page 23. It begins in page 23. I have a picture. That's me right here. So I share my story. It's called You Were Made to Be Unstoppable. And thanks to my amazing mentor here, Nim Stant. She lives in Arizona, actually. All right, I'm going to show you something. Because I'm almost done, finally. For those who just arrived, this is my t-shirt with my movement called Self-Love. Radiate, Rise, Reclaim. I have it also at the back so you can see. So when I walk, I'm promoting myself as an entrepreneur, business owner. You have to promote yourself, okay? All right, so this has my manuscript, my second book. I'm gonna read a few lines. It's almost done. It's called What Does Not Kill You Makes You Stronger. So let me get my glasses. I think I'm going to end the live stream soon because my phone looks like it's like 15% and I'm very far from the charger and I'm a little tired actually. What does not kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, right here. Let's read the preface. It's going to be 13 chapters because I was born on the 13th. With a preface and a few pages from chapter 1 I'm going to read to you. My manuscript. This book, I started writing it over 3 years ago. And every time I'm almost done, I'm almost finished. But yes, by I hope by my 52nd birthday, which is in January, in a couple of months, let's see, by March, I should be done, hopefully published. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I'm going to change the title from what doesn't, but right now it says what does not, because that's the original. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. How YouTube, eating healthier, and reading saved me from depression, and how I helped people become rich and happier. So mind you, I wrote this over 2-3 years ago. Oh my Lord. Okay, the preface. I'm going to read to you the preface. Neem Stant, my wonderful mentor, helped me with being published for the very first time in 2021. So I am extremely honored to be mentored by her once again with this second book. Neem Stant, founder and CEO of Go All In TV, is a successful entrepreneur, amazing mom, and dedicated community advocate. In addition to Go All In TV, Neem also runs a consulting firm helping businesses thrive. Neem Stant has been featured in many outlets, including TV channels as well as prints. These are some of the platforms and magazines: TEDx, ABC 15, NBC, ABC, CBS, Health Journal, Fox 24, KFTA, Los Angeles Daily News, KGB, Fitness Republic, International Business Times, to name a few. How did I meet the wonderful Neem Stant? I'm sorry, I just seeing here that you left some comments, Bob. Hold on. Bob said, remember, she only has a soul when she's married. I probably was an empath once, but my time with humanity had made me largely hate human beings. Don't say that. All right, let me read. How did I meet the wonderful Neem Stant? I believe it was destiny. I owe Chris Winfield and his lovely fiancée, Jen Gottlieb. All right, it was a fiancé, but now they are married, their wife and husband. But at the time I was writing, I'm telling you, it's been such a long time I started writing this book. At the time they were fiancé. I owe Chris Winfield and his lovely fiancée, Jen Gottlieb, both co-founders of Super Connector Media, this beautiful encounter while I was on Facebook scrolling down reading some comments. That's why I say the power of social media. Use it to your advantage. I met these people that allowed me to become a published writer through Facebook, social media. Chris and Jen posted about their Beyond TV Challenge program, which got me hooked the moment I noticed it on my timeline. After meeting Neem Stant online during one of our sessions, I secretly prayed that Neem Stant would one day mentor me. Less than a year later, I was collaborating with Neem, sharing my story for the first time in a book that I co-authored. You Were Made to Be Unstoppable, a collection of unstoppable stories that will inspire you to believe bigger, was published on Amazon on February 1st, 2021. That book was to become my biggest blessing during a difficult time battling mental health. I was asked to share 3 pieces of advice and include them in that book. This is what I wrote. Based on my experience, I can share 3 pieces of advice: be patient, be ready, and be open-minded. Being patient was taught from my story of rape, abuse, struggles, and staying in toxic relationships that later on made me stronger and got me ready for the next years of trials and tribulations I was to face. And ready I was. I took advantage of an opportunity to share my story of courage, of strength, and not giving up, to write this book so you, my amazing reader, can be inspired, empowered, and live the best version of yourself. My main goal writing this book is to give a voice to the voiceless and help victims of abuse, especially emotional abuse, because this is a subject that is very much misunderstood. Last piece of advice, but not least, is being open-minded, which means to be humble and allow others to teach me and show me a different perspective, which reminds me of my amazing mentor, Ed Mallett, who talked about rise in the face of adversity with Les Brown, who inspired Ed to become the man he is today. Ed Mallett and Les Brown talk about, and I quote, the keys to thriving during these difficult times is, and how to unleash your story of greatness has that already lives within you to become the ultimate version of yourself. Indeed, to be the best version of myself, I had to conquer my fears and my shame. Fear to disappoint my parents and my 5 siblings looking up to me, feeling that I was not enough. I am enough. You too, my amazing reader, you are enough. We are enough. I will never let fear or shame control me ever again. It took me years of self-reflection, therapy, and counseling to be where I am today, and I am extremely grateful to all the people who have contributed to this achievement. Yes, I was abused as a child, sexually and physically, as well as emotionally. True, my mind had blocked the trauma for years, until I was 20, when all of a sudden pieces of blurry images started flashing back in front of my eyes. My brain protected me all those years. One of my mentors, Andy Frisella, said, sit down and decide what you want as clearly as possible, in as much detail as possible, and then work every day toward it. That is exactly what I have been doing. I want to make this world a better place. I want my story to make someone smile. I wish with all my heart that it will empower somebody who wants to give up, so instead of despair, they decide to give it all, to go all in. Like Nimstan says in her amazing book, life has taught me that it is impossible to achieve success without some help from someone, from others along the way. One particular person I am forever thankful for is my mother. She was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer in 2013 after 1 year of suffering with a lot of muscle pain. My mother has always been supportive of me all these past 20 years while I was going through depression, domestic abuse, anxiety, and panic attacks, which I was hiding from a lot of people here in America. I pretended that I had an amazing life, almost a perfect life. No such thing as a perfect life. I even contemplated suicide in 2019 in July, but God saved me. These were the things I wrote in my first book that you can read for free on Kindle or purchase on Amazon and then I put the link. That book, published under Nimstan, my wonderful mentor, which became an Amazon bestseller in 5 different categories, was the result of me stepping out of my comfort zone, online, asking for help, networking with entrepreneurs, connecting with like-minded individuals, being open-minded and ready for change. I remember going to my Facebook page on February 1st, 2021, feeling super happy. I made my last post, and this is exactly what I wrote. I am a published writer. Thank you for your support and love. Deactivating my Facebook permanently, just stopping by to say that I did it. My teenager dream came true. Finally, I am a published author, thanks to Nimstan, Jan Gottlieb, and Chris Winfield, from the Beyond TV Challenge program and the Be Seen Accelerator. Okay, let me do something. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah, I think you can. I'm just gonna move. I remember that I have a holder that can charge my phone here by my computer, so this is where I'm moving closer to it so you can see me. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, the angle is a little weird, but I'm here. I just don't want to stop yet. That's why. Where was I? Okay. Finally, I am a published author, thanks to Nimstan, Jan Gottlieb, and Chris Winfield from the Beyond TV Challenge program and the Be Seen Accelerator program, as well as so many amazing mentors of mine, you and all the people who have inspired me and empowered me to finally finish writing my manuscript and send the final draft over a month ago. So I wrote that was about 2 years ago. 2019 and 2020 have been 2 challenging years for me and my 4 children. Depression, panic attacks, and anxiety almost killed me. But I am still here by the grace and mercy of God. I owe my newest accomplishment to many wonderful people. Among them are Andy Frisella and Ed Mallet, who literally saved my life 2 years ago. So that was back in 2019, right? Ed Mallet, an amazing Christian man, was doing a live stream in St. Louis, Missouri, and he changed my life and he saved me because I was still married to my ex, the narcissist, the one that almost made me to end my life. Hey, beautiful sister, welcome. Love you. Thank you. Follow her, my beautiful sister. She has an amazing channel. Amazing channel. Welcome, welcome, my sister. Yes, so I went to a business event. I drove over 18 hours from New York all the way to St. Louis, Missouri. And that transformed my life and saved my life, literally. Yeah, because that day, it was a Saturday morning when I finished the event. I wrote down, I will never let another man abuse me. I will never let another man abuse me. And I was writing it on a notepad, sitting in my car in front of a Chinese restaurant, crying, tears flowing down my cheeks. And I said, I will never let another man abuse me emotionally, mentally. And I drove back to New York over 17 hours. I went straight to the brand new house that we had just purchased with my ex-husband. He's an Irish white man, American, Italian, half French. And he's a little older. And we had just purchased my dream home by the marina, by the water, 4-bedroom houses, 2 stories houses, 2 garage house. And I started packing my stuff. I was shaking, took the stuff. I even left some stuff in the first bathroom on the first floor, but I didn't care. I just packed my stuff. I had started moving out slowly by taking stuff from my apartment in Lower Manhattan to that house in Long Island. And I was shaking, but I was like, I took the decision, I'm gonna do it. And what I did is I left him, yeah. Move in silence. If you're abused, never tell your abuser that you're leaving. Move in silence, because some people, they tell, and today they cannot tell because they're 6 feet under. Yeah, don't tell. Have a plan, safely get out and go somewhere safe. All right, let me continue reading from my manuscript. I owe my newest accomplishment to many wonderful people. Among them are Andy Frisella and Ed Mallet, who literally saved my life 2 years ago. Yes, sister. Yeah, it is true. You have to move in silence. Even when in business, move in silence. Don't tell too much of your plan, because there are a lot of hating people out there. Haters, people jealous, envious of you. They want to see you fall. They don't like you improving your life. They don't want you to do better than them. You can have a car and they have a car and they're still jealous of you having a car. Or you have 2-3 jobs and you hardworking person, a single mom or a single father, and you're doing what you have to do to take care of your family, your children, and they will still be mad for that. And you mind your business, you don't gossip, you go to work, come home, take care of your family, and they still mad at you for that. I'm victim of that. Yes, even in this new neighborhood, people be looking at me. I mind my business. I don't talk to anybody. I say, hi, how are you? And that's about it. People be looking at you, jealous, envious, like they're ready to take what you have, and they have no idea how you had to struggle, all the hardship you went through. They don't care. Even if they know about it, they don't care. They just want what you have. They're not happy that you have it. Unbelievable. This is America. This is this life. Even outside of America, I found out, yes, it's this new generation, crazy. Even in Africa, even in Europe, you have people like that. Your next door neighbor, they be envious of you, or they be lying about you, slandering you. I've been the victim. People be, up to today, I have people saying bad thing about me, lying about me. I had my ex-sister-in-law, she posted something nasty stuff and saying I'm a fraud, I'm a con artist, I'm a liar, I'm after rich men, I'm a dangerous woman. All the nasty, disgusting stuff. Nothing to do with me. But because when people envy you, they're hating on you, they will go and say all that kind of slanders. So people don't like you, people are not interested in knowing more and getting to know you, all that. Pure envy, jealousy, wickedness of the heart. Never give up on your dream. Believe in yourself and do the work to make it come true. Now with this second book, my main goal is to build my credibility as a coach and authority on the topic of using your hardships and struggles to uplift yourself and inspire others so that you can help people transform their lives for the better. So I wrote this 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. I want to be a source of guidance using my story, my life, which is a journey of courage, faith, and resilience. If you just arrived, sister, I'm reading from my manuscript that I wrote over 2 years ago. I will get published, inshallah, God willing. All right, that was preface. Now I'm reading a little bit of chapter 1, okay? Chapter 1 is called Stop Being a Victim. Yes, stop being a victim. Stop making excuses, okay? Whatever you do in life, be responsible. Take accountability. I learned that from my mentors years ago. And when I was going through depression, all I was thinking, me, myself, and I. I was so selfish, but the wrong selfish. That, you know how I tell you, self-love, love yourself. That's a good self-love. But I was the type where it was all about me, why I'm feeling this way, why they did this to me. And I had to really internalize and do some therapy and turn to God, forgive myself, and then realize that whatever happened, I was also responsible for it, you know? Like they say, it takes two to tango. So I was in an abusive relationship, but I had the choice to get out of it, not to stay. I chose to stay. So whatever happened next, that's my fault for staying. Stop being a victim. That's chapter 1. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Such powerful statement that my wonderful mentor and dear friend Nim Stan said. Nim has been one of the blessings God has granted me at a perfect time in my life when I was suffering from depression. I am forever thankful for her support, love, and friendship. There is so much to talk about, so where do I begin? Well, let's start from about 6 years ago, shall we? It was the year 2016, and I had just quit my job, was broke, about to be evicted, but I was optimistic. I was online, and I decided to create a GoFundMe account. To begin, what I'm about to tell you is true. This is not a fairy tale story. This is my life. This is how I had started my introduction on GoFundMe. I remember having so many different emotions when I was typing these lines on my computer. The rest that followed these sentences said something like this. Since 2000 up to now, in a summary, all I am saying is true. It did happen. First, I need to tell you more about where I come from and why I ended up here. In New York City, USA. I was born in Africa, in West Africa, in a Muslim family who did not do everything the Quran teaches. The Quran is the holy book Islam says comes directly from God. My parents really emphasized about praying 5 times a day, not eating pork and not drinking alcohol and not having boyfriends. Pretty much that was my life, our life with my siblings, all born in France. We could dress any way we liked, be around boys, talk to boys, play with boys, touch and kiss boys on the cheeks, have boys as close friends and mingle with them, go to the swimming pool, wearing nothing but a swimming suit, dress in shorts, have t-shirts in summertime, be outside with bare arms, bare legs, wear pair of pants, celebrate birthdays and every Christian holidays, etc. This we did on a regular. As long as we pray our 5 prayers, even if we did not know what the Quran said, or even if my parents never really sat with us to translate the meaning of the Quran, or even to explain why we had to pray. I was raised in the south of France from the age of 4. I lived in France for 20 years before moving out. I left France to live in Manchester, the UK, in 1997 and lived there for 3 years before deciding in winter 2000 to move to the USA, New York to be exact. I moved to the UK from France to get away from the racism I felt was increasing. I was young and wanted to discover new things, explore, go on an adventure. I was also on a soul search, on a spiritual journey. I was beginning to question my whole existence and the purpose of my life. the reason why certain things were happening to me, etc. I am a person who meditates, asks herself why this, why that, and I am very passionate with whatever I choose to embark on. I am curious. I have always been extremely friendly with anyone around me, and I am not afraid to talk to people. I have always wanted to enjoy life and just have fun. I want to succeed in life. I love goodness and believe there is goodness in all of us. But some of us have allowed too much unkindness to creep in, anger, and having no compassion or tolerance to settle in our hearts. You see, I was raped as a child in Africa, inappropriately touched as a young girl in France at a birthday party for one of my classmates. And I was also sexually assaulted as an adult by an ex-husband. I am a survivor of domestic abuse and domestic violence, but I never let this horrible experience bring me down to such a point that I become depressed, which I was for a couple of years before finding amazing people here in New York City and inner strength to move on and close that chapter of my life. Well, I say a couple of years, but that was more years being depressed. I have married three African Americans, thinking each time when I had met the person that I had found my soulmate. My first American husband was actually a former drug addict who in jail had found God and had chosen to leave Christianity to become a Muslim. His being incarcerated was unknown to me. I probably would have rejected his marriage proposal had I known. We were introduced online back in 2000 when I was still living in Europe. I know it sounds so crazy, yet it is true. We continued chatting online for a few months until I chose to travel to America to marry him. Surreal, I know, ha 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 ha. But it happened nonetheless. I quit my job as a 4-star hotel front desk assistant. I left a huge, cozy 3-bedroom apartment, some great friends I made during the 3 years living in Manchester, just to marry a man I had never met in person, a man I only talked to via emails for a few months. What was I thinking back then? Sigh. After my arrival into November 2000, we met on a Wednesday for the very first time in presence of the friends who arranged the marriage. We spoke that day, being chaperoned the entire time. So crazy now that I'm thinking about it. He was going to be 37 years old and I was 25, almost 26. That same week, 3 days later, on Saturday in the evening, we met for the second time to be married religiously, becoming officially husband and wife according to Islamic marriage procedures. My father was not very happy that I married a total stranger. My father had even traveled a weekend from France to England just to persuade me to change my mind, but I did it anyway. I went to New York City and married a complete stranger. I was stubborn and did not listen to my father. And I would come to regret it years down the road. I was not happy, but I was already with child. And in a way, gave up on my previous life as an independent young African woman who wanted to travel the world and go on an adventure. I left all of that to be a wife and a mother and be completely dependent on a man, financially and for everything else, thinking he was only going to make me happy, and only he could do that. Little did I know this was not going to happen to me. I was walking on eggshells most of the time, pretending everything was okay, when it was not. I was embarrassed, so ashamed of myself. I felt so regretful for not listening to my father. I was abused, what they called a battered wife. I was abused not physically but emotionally, verbally and mentally. My ex-husband scared me at such a level that one day I decided to leave him, even though I was pregnant with my second daughter, conceived during the rape. I left to go to my friend's house in the Bronx, near White Plains Road, 233rd Street, by the 2 train. She had a family too and needed her space, so my stay there was short, about a month. Besides, she told me this was easier for me to get an apartment, going to the shelter with a young kid, My first daughter was about 10 months, born 3 days after 9/11, and another child on the way. So I went. My friend dropped me off and left. I cried a lot. I was grateful to have a roof above my head, but I did not like it that much at the Catholic Sisters shelter in Brooklyn, near Halsey Street. But my 11-month-old daughter and I stayed there for about 2 months. It was a clean place. The food was all right, and we had chores like washing our clothes, doing dishes in the main kitchen, helping with tidying the place a little, participating in things like reading together, listening to religious lectures. They were trying to get me to become Catholic and say prayers with them during meal times. About 2 months later, I chose to go to the Bronx Shelter Emergency Assistance Unit. EAU, family shelter located at 51 East 151st Street, Bronx, corner of 151 and Walton. The place to go for immediate help or after hours. I was about 5 months and a half pregnant with my second daughter and so tired and depressed, but with hope for a better life. My friend who lived in the Bronx told me when I called her that she will not come to pick me up because she said it made no sense for her to travel all the way from the Bronx, come to Brooklyn in order to take me in her car with my child and my personal stuff back to the Bronx. So she said to get a taxi, which I did with the last $60 I had. This was 2002, around April, May. My ex-husband had canceled his credit card, so I could not withdraw any more money. From what he said when we married was our money, our bank account. I was so shocked and so angry at the same time, but kept asking God to give me strength and patience to endure. I cried the whole time deep inside me on the cab ride on my way to the shelter. The driver had no idea how sad I was because I was ashamed to show him, so I kept it all in. I had to remain strong for my daughter and my unborn child. We slept in the Bronx shelter only for 2 nights. Thank God. The place was so dirty. The people who came there were not very clean and did not care too much about personal hygiene. I was so grateful to this tall black American man, Mr. Washington. I will never forget his name, from the EAU in the Bronx. He found me a shelter, clean and safer in Jamaica, and that is where I stayed with my daughters. My second daughter was born in Brooklyn, and for the first 6 months of her life, lived with me and her sister and her big sister in that shelter. Yeah, my daughter was born, the one who's 22, who's a teacher now. She graduated from NYU. So she did her 4 years, and now she's a teacher. She teaches second graders in the Bronx, New York here. So she was born inside the bathtub of my midwife's apartment in Brooklyn. Yeah. So when I was in the shelter, I couldn't, of course, give birth in the shelter. So my midwife, who helped me give birth to my first 3 children, she offered her apartment for me to give birth. So I gave birth to inside her apartment. In winter of 2002, the Department of Homeless Services, DHS van, drove us one night to Queens in the neighborhood of Jamaica. The colonial shelter was reserved only for women, pregnant mothers, young moms with their small kids. That shelter was not too far from the J train. I loved it there. Cleaner, quiet, great neighbors. One particular young Latina female, young mom, would always cook for us, bring me food for my daughters and for me. We were just a door away from each other. I regret to this day that I never took her name and telephone number, contact info, so I could one day repay her for all the things she gave me, her time, her generosity, the amazing Spanish food she cooked for us, and listening to me, talking to me, even if we had a hard time understanding each other. At that time, 2002, 2003, my Spanish was not that good. But now, hablo español, sí, muy bien. Entiendo el español. One more person I am really so thankful for is Miss Florence from I never know how to say that. She's from Haiti because I'm French. Well, I was French. I speak French. Haiti. I don't know how to say it in English. She's Asian. So Miss Florence, who worked at that colonial shelter, she gave me great advice and was always so understanding. At the time, I was still covering my hair with full hijab, Muslim dress code, which consists of a long garment that covers the entire head, ears, and it's loose. Yes, I don't know how to say that word. In haïtienne, en français, on dit une haïtienne. In French, that's how we say it. Okay, so the hijab, a long garment, is loose and does not show much of the feminine figure, the beautiful shape of a female's body. I was clueless about a lot of things in terms of being an American or living in America. She helped me a great deal. After I gave birth to my second daughter, Maimuna, I named her Blessed. In Arabic, that's what it means, Maimuna. We got a letter in the mail for an apartment to visit in Manhattan, the Lower East Side. This is a place I have been living in for the past 13 years. Haitian, yes, thank you, Bob. You're right. Thank you. After our very first visit, I agreed that this was the perfect apartment for my daughters and me. We settled and spent our first night in a single room on the floor. We slept on some blankets I had brought with me. No bed, no sheet. We had no bed, no table, no microwave, no lamp, no sheets, no pillows, no chairs. The apartment had a fridge and a stove. 2 bedrooms and a balcony. I was so happy. Such a huge blessing. I remember living in a small tiny room in the shelter before, just big enough to fit one single size bed, 2 baby cribs, and a small table and a chair and a kitchenette. I went to each room and said a prayer. Yes, I did. And thanked God for having found us the perfect home. A few days later, my friend Jenabu from Guinea, Africa, managed to find a name of a Muslim brother. That man, Muslim brother, was the one who helped us with moving. So in his giant truck, my belongings were put in. My 2 daughters and I left our tiny room in the colonial shelter in Jamaica, Queens, to Broome Street to live in the Lower East Side, July 17th, 2003. I gave birth to my first 3 children in an apartment, and I feel that I am truly a Wonder Woman. What does not kill you can only make you stronger. I have been living in a project building since 2003. The term project building has a really negative image to it, so I almost rarely say I live in a project building because of feeling ashamed, since it is for very low income people or for people who are not so well off. I have seen the project buildings in Brooklyn and they look so ugly, and many of the people, well, the young who live there have no manners, are rude and up to no good. That was back in 2003 when I lived there in the Lower East Side project building, from 2003 to 2021 when we moved here in Harlem. Furthermore, I grew up in France, south of France, near the French Riviera, where everything is luxurious, expensive, clean, and posh. So yes, it was very hard. And I kept thinking about my family, my poor parents, if they found out what building I live in. LOL. To them, it was like downgrading from living in a mansion to living in the woods. Almost. LOL. Anyways, I learned to live in this new environment with my children. I was living with my 3 children until I met my recent ex-husband. So mind you, I wrote that over 3 years ago. I met his older sister, a neighbor who always looked so friendly and smiled and always said hi to me. Eddie and I met in 2010, February, at a time in my life where I was really tired of struggling financially, emotionally, and was ready to go back to my parents in France. I kept refusing his advances until one day I just gave up and chose to give him a chance. Decision that to this day, in a way, I regret making. But without such choice, I simply would not be here this evening, September the 9th, 2016, sitting on my new desk chair, be able to tell you all about. So I guess there is always a bright side to everything, even the really painful moments in someone's life. Yes, that's true. I divorced from Eddie in May the 4th, 2016, just a few months ago. Our divorce was finalized with court order for spousal support of some $37 and child support of some $77. We have one son who is now 3 years. So can you imagine, Eddie, my son, is now 12. So when I wrote this, it was 2016. And visitation for a whole day every Sunday. My ex-husband comes and goes inside my apartment because he has made his own keys and wants to stay in my children's life. 2 days ago, he was again talking about the past, about the good times we had. I am wondering why. Maybe he has nostalgia. I do not know, but I am through with this marriage. That is for sure. This marriage has drained me emotionally. Yes, my ex-husband was controlling, very jealous of everyone I would speak to, would be around to or meet. My ex-husband was throwing my personal stuff without asking me. He even paid people to follow me, was paranoid, and constantly accused me of cheating, which I never did. He did other things too. He was almost like one good man and one evil man all in one body, showing the outside world such a good husband and great father figure to my kids. He did get physical a few times. That is when I knew it was time to call it quit, pack his stuff, and show him the door. It took me almost 1 year to regain the confidence I had, the joy and happiness I have always felt. On the 7th, 2 nights ago, he apologized, saying he knew he was wrong. Took him 5 years to apologize. He finally realized his mistakes. But it's too late for us being together ever again. I forgive him. I forgave him. I just did not totally let the pain go away. I have my scars, a reminder of what he did, what I allowed him to do to me, how I let him treat me. I learned my lesson. I will never let someone use me again, sexually, financially, or otherwise. This marriage has drained me financially. I have been living from paycheck to paycheck for many years now. I owe 3 months rent, I owe the telephone companies, I owe the gym membership I canceled too late, I owe the banks. In other words, I am still broke, even if it does not look like I am. Yeah, back then I remember people used to always say, oh, she's loaded, she has so much money. And they had no idea that I was so broke, that I had so many debts. I do not go around telling people that I am broke or that I really will lose my apartment if the judge does not stop that eviction note from being issued by the marshal in 2 weeks on September the 21st. Which brings me exactly to my next point. The question you all are asking, why is she here on GoFundMe? So all this that I just read to you was what I wrote in 2016 when I started my GoFundMe account and I needed money to help me so I don't get evicted. So yes, who? What am I raising money for? Well, the money is for myself. I am trying to get funds for my new project. My project is a new business venture. I am raising money for my business, Fast Service Marketing. My small company, which is my newest accomplishment, even if it is mainly composed of this modest new desk that I am at, typing on my computer, this small office, which I am renting on 48 Wall Street on the 5th floor, paying each month $500 to be able to use their Wi-Fi, office open 24/7 access in a new kind of co-working space located in the heart of New York City's financial district. This space is such a blessing. It is called Jointer, and it is right here, a few feet away from the Trump Building and the New York Stock Exchange. Jointer at 48 Wall Street, 5th floor, New York, New York, 10005. Has a ping pong table, PS4, board games, giant Jenga, Apple TV, Chromecast, workshops, a HD projector with 120 inches screen, and also free coffee, plentiful snacks, networking events, reliable internet, mail and package reception, among other wonderful cool things. As their motto is, keep moving up by moving down to Wall Street. This is exactly my dream coming true, thanks to you all. Thanks to you all who donate to my account here. at GoFundMe. I will soon be able to be my own boss 24/7, be financially free, no more living paycheck to paycheck, thanks to you all who donate to my account here at GoFundMe. I will soon be able to repay all the people who have assisted me when I was struggling and could not even afford to buy a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk, and I had to go from church to church begging for food and feeling so ashamed. Thanks to you all who donate to my account here at GoFundMe, I will be able to pay for my 4 children their college years, buy my mother that paid vacation to New York City so she can come from France, all expenses paid to me, to be here to spend quality time with all her 4 grandchildren. Thanks to you all who donate to my account here at GoFundMe, I will be able to assist more people. I will help more low-income individuals and prepare their legal documents once I can pay for my new flyers to let people know about my services, about my new company. So you are going to be a part of my career success because I know how to be thankful and show my gratitude for people that help me. I always remember those who want to see me succeed and also the people who are driven and want to improve their own lives on all levels. I am here with so much to give back to my community, to the kind-hearted people who were there for me, who believed in me. Yeah, I wrote this back in 2016, and I received a lot of help. I received over $3,000 at my GoFundMe, yes. And I did have my business for a whole year. I was on Wall Street. Yeah, so grateful. There is so much I can achieve with the money that is missing. I am here ready to help consumers who represent themselves in undisputed, uncontested divorce cases, in Chapter 7 bankruptcy cases, in immigration petition filing, in translating papers for those who speak very little English, and so many more other services that so many are in desperate need. Yeah, that's what I used to do. That was my business. Fast service marketing. I was on Wall Street, like I mentioned here. That was back in 2016, and I had that office on the 5th floor. I had my desk, computer for a year, and then I had to close shop. Yes. It was great. I helped a lot of people. I did bankruptcy filing, divorce, income tax filing. I had nice customers, nice clients. Everybody that I took care of, they were very happy. Very happy. I got good reviews. I think one lady left a review on Yelp about my services back then. With my skills, the passion that I have for helping people, for helping others, with my love for customer service, with the fact that I love going that extra mile, my many years of work experience in the field of preparing legal documents and knowing a little more about the law, even if I do not practice it, I can help so many people. I can help French-speaking people, Spanish-speaking people, English-speaking people, people who are shy, who do not know where to go, where to turn to, people who need someone to direct them to the right place. I am young and I am super ambitious. I need the money now so that my job can start immediately. This means so much to me because I have met many unfortunate individuals. I have seen the miserable life of the people who say they have no option but to do nothing. I say no and enough. There is a way to end this sadness. There is a way to end the suffering, and this way is to rely on my amazing and affordable services and come to me. Come to my new office and let me help you help yourself to achieve greatness. Yeah, that was back when I had my business on Wall Street. I want to give back. That is what I love doing, helping people. I want to make people happy. I want to give thanks to those many who have inspired me. All the CEOs of big companies, general managers who remained humble even after making six-figure salaries after a few months starting their company. I want to succeed in entrepreneurship. I have this entrepreneurial mindset, always have had it, just never fully understood nor fully developed it until I came to America to live my American dreams. So yes, this is me living my American dream one step at a time. Tonight at 9:07 p.m. here by my computer desk, I am asking you to help me make this American dream a reality and let the world know about it so that it can inspire others to also dream as big as I have. I have a dream, and this dream is coming true. A few dollars away, a few dollars a week, a few dollars a day, a few dollars here and there. I wrote this back in 2016. I will show my gratitude by helping all the people who have helped me raise the money for my business by starting franchises. So whoever can put a small amount of money down can also do what I am doing and have something they can call their own. Pass on to their children, and their kids can also pass on to their own children. I had so much ambition and I had all these dreams. I really wanted to make it so big on Wall Street back then in 2016 that I would start having enough money to invest and help other people. So just creating jobs. Yeah, that was my dream when I was on Wall Street back in 2016. Then I wrote, I truly believe in my heart that we were put into this earth to help one another, to spread love and compassion, to just be there for each other. Please help me. You will never regret it. I sounded so desperate back then. I was so desperate back then. These were the words I had written back in 2016. Many years have passed, and I still have many ambitions and the same dreams. I want to make a difference. I hope and pray that this book will inspire you and empower you, as it has given me so much to look forward to. We are now in 2022, and a few months have passed since we celebrated the new year with our new resolutions and promises we made to ourselves. My wish to you, my awesome reader, is that you will gain beneficial knowledge, a new outlook on life, and also realize the countless possibilities you can have for your life to be more fulfilling and even more amazing. So, first, relax, open your mind, go and grab a cup of water or some lemonade, come back and sit down and continue reading. I want you to mentally take a picture of yourself looking like the powerful, badass human being that you are, and imagine that you and me are on a journey. Let the journey begin, shall we? I even put an emoji. So first of all, who am I? Well, I am many things, but in a nutshell, I'm a writer. Thanks to Neem Stan, an Amazon bestseller co-author, an inspirational coach. Let's not forget that I'm also a badass mama of 4 amazing children, a survivor of domestic abuse, and a New York State notary public. Yeah, I'm a notary public, so I can notarize documents. I want you, my new reader, to enjoy life to the fullest, to smile, to have a positive outlook on life, and know that I want the best for you. We are going to have a fantastic adventure of discoveries, learning more about ourselves, and being transformed along these next chapters. Ed Mallet, my amazing mentor, said, "You only get from life what you will tolerate." If the most important areas of your life aren't what you want them to be, you need to stop allowing that to continue. You've got to be the one to change it. Your mindset needs to change. It's a hard pill to swallow, but the reality is we get what we tolerate. I couldn't agree with Ed more, because it is true, absolutely true, that you only get from life what you tolerate. In my case, I've tolerated a lot of toxic relationships, business and outside of work. I was very naive in the past and did not fully love myself. I did not know, nor did I set boundaries to protect my inner peace. Who am I really? I am a strong, caring, loving introvert empath who loves people and wants to change the world for the better. And as you have read earlier, I was emotionally abused, but I used my pain and my hardships to become the unstoppable woman, badass mama that I am today. So I wrote this over 3 years ago. As painful as it was for me, I survived childhood rape and sexual assault at a classmate's birthday party in south of France. To this day, at age 48, I have never told my parents or my siblings. I'm not 48 anymore, I'm 51 now, almost 52. You are the first person that I am sharing this devastating childhood event with. From terrible ordeals that happen to us, we can learn greatly and inspire others to see life in a different perspective. On June 9th, 2021, I wrote this on a piece of paper to help me cope with my mental health issues. Stop being a victim and take responsibility for your actions. Work on yourself, develop self-esteem and self-confidence. Remember that self-love is the most important love. You cannot give what you do not have. Your worth is not defined by what people say about you and think about you. Your worth is defined by what you think about yourself, what you tell yourself that you are, and who you know you are. Just remember that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What I also do on a regular basis is count my blessings and recall what I have instead of dwelling on what I do not have, what I have not accomplished yet. You will be so surprised what writing down what you are grateful for can do to your brain and your day. It will literally change your life. What matters becomes more important to you, and you will have more of it. As you already guessed, I am a woman of faith. I am not like Ed Mallett's amazing mother-in-law, but I try to remember the favors of God upon me and my family. You see, Ed Mallett in his book Max Out Your Life Strategies for Becoming an Elite Performer wrote, make the things you want as important to you as your own name. My mother-in-law is a great example of this. She's an amazing woman of faith, and she's always looking for signs of God showing up in her life. She'll say, isn't God wonderful? She notices good things everywhere. She's going to notice anything good that happens because she's looking for it. That's what Ed Mallett, my mentor, wrote about his mother-in-law. Having said that, I am trying to explain to you, my awesome reader, that there is goodness in this world. There are a lot of good people and good things, even when we are struggling. I used to wonder if I would ever become a published writer one day. I tried different online classes, attended seminars, and even went to a 3-day workshop with Gary Roberts called the Bookology Boot Camp at the Marriott Hotel here in Brooklyn, New York City. August 24th, August 25th, August 26th, 2018. To be exact, that workshop was for anyone who wanted to grow their business by publishing a book. Whereas for me, going to that boot camp was to find out how I could write a book and be an author recognized all over the world. Those 3 days at that seminar were a big blessing, but I did not really see it that way back then. There were many testimonials from authors who have benefited from Gary Roberts' program and had become successful entrepreneurs, highly reputable business owners. In fact, some even made a lot of money through speaking at big events and writing a book. In fact, many of those students became influential, managed to travel the world, and used their books as a marketing tool to promote their online courses. One of these graduates built his credibility and became an authority on the topic of entrepreneurship as a business consultant. I was so impressed and was daydreaming of one day becoming that expert and influential figure too. Deep down in my heart, I knew I could do it and I could be an author one day. Yeah, you have to start believing it. You see, I believed it back then in 2018 and even before when I was a teenager living in South of France. I believed it. I said, one day I'm going to become an author. And guess what? In 2021, I became an author. Actually, Gary Robert wrote in his bootcamp workbook something that stayed with me all these past years. So many people just dream about publishing a book. You are doing it. Welcome and congratulations for being here. So many people think of writing a book and never get around to it. You are not like them. Publishing a book is the right thing for you, for your business, and for all of us who need to read it. Not to mention those people who need your services and will only hear about you because of what this book will do for you in terms of exposure and increasing your visibility. Furthermore, Gary Robert made a sign and date my do not panic statement which read, this book will happen for me. I understand that it might happen within the next few weeks, next few months, or maybe even next few years, but it will happen. And yes, indeed, it did happen. So in 2018, I sat down for 3 days in that bookology book camp seminar, and less than 3 years later, I got published. I signed and dated that page on my bookology book camp workbook. That date was August 24, 2018. And lo and behold, one day in 2021, my teenage dream finally came true. February 1st, 2021. I became published on Amazon as co-author in 5 bestseller categories thanks to my wonderful mentor, Nim Stant. I was 47 and finally an author. Like the saying goes, great things happen to those who wait. Patience, patience. I was on cloud 9. I recall how I had put a sticky note on my wall that read, finish my book and publish it. That note was written on June 21st, 2020. It was a friendly reminder to myself that my teenage dream was about to come true, but only if I took action and did what I had to do to make it happen. And taking action is what I did and what all my great mentors taught me. You see, my friend, you too, you must take action. If you want to change your situation, your life, and enjoy the fruits of your labor, we must work smart and sometimes hard to achieve greatness. Indeed, greatness takes time and it requires work, faith, trust, and hope. Fortunately for me, I had all 4 on my side: work, faith, trust, and hope. Let me explain what I mean by that. I worked really hard to finish my manuscripts and send them to Nim Stant, who helped me get published. I had unshakable faith that my book will inspire people, and it did. I trusted God Almighty, most merciful Creator, that the book would be a means for me to reach out to victims of domestic abuse. Last but not least, I hoped for a miracle and I prayed for another opportunity to empower thousands, if not millions of people. That miracle came in the form of this new book that you are reading right now. My goal with this book is that you gain insight on what truly matters to you, how you can transform yourself and become an amazing example for millions to follow. It is all about personal development and ultimately personal branding. Talking about personal branding, have you heard of a great coach named Pasha Cook? Do you know that I had the honor of meeting Pasha Cook on April 13, 2019 in New Jersey? It was a Saturday and I was super excited to attend that event. The whole workshop was organized by this fabulous Sisters in Business Expo, which is, according to their website, the country's only multi-city small business expo and community created specifically to celebrate and educate entrepreneurial women of color, the largest and fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the country, by providing an affordable and accessible platform where women of color can showcase their products and services while gaining valuable resources and information. I bought Pasha's book. Pasha Cook signed a copy of her book, Brand Yourself Like a Champion, Cultivating Brand Excellence from the Inside Out, which reads, everyone needs a coach. Take Oprah, for example. For instance, she has 5 coaches. Why Oprah, of all people, needs 5 coaches? It's because she understands the value of hiring those who specialize in areas in which she wants to grow and master. No one can be highly successful on their own. A coach can help you identify your brand message, create strategic plans for your brand, and help you to avoid rookie mistakes. There is a coach for every level of entrepreneurship and brand identity. Pasha Cook is that great coach. She also said in her book, personal development and personal branding go hand in hand. I totally agree with her statement. Branding is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Who said this? Jeff Bezos. How sorry, that's the preface. I already read that. Yes, I remember printing these twice. So this is the end of chapter 1 of my second book. Stop being a victim. That's chapter 1 I just finished reading. Thank you so much. I just realized I finished chapter 1. I read chapter 1 to you, preface and chapter 1. So there you have it. If you have stayed this long, woo! I applaud you. I commend you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So this was the manuscript. I wrote this over 2-3 years ago, 2022. Whew! Amazing, amazing. Yes, so I'm about to end the live stream. Let me drink some water. I have water here. Okay, so thank you so much for being in the live stream, for staying with me, for listening to what I had to say, for listening to my book. It's my second book, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. It will have 13 chapters, like I said earlier when I started the live stream talking about my second book. God willing, inshallah, as we say in Arabic. And I'm super, super excited to soon finish it completely so I can share it with you and help you so you can also, live your best life, be empowered, be inspired. Yes, that's what I want for you. I want to inspire you. I want you to be ready for the next best chapter of your life. Okay? I'm walking. It's good to walk. I'm so happy. Today I managed to run. And I haven't been able to run in so long. It felt good. It felt really good. I walk fast, but running, like burning. That is something I used to do a lot and I was not able to do because of my rheumatoid arthritis. And now to be able to do it, such a blessing, such a blessing. All right, this is it. Thank you so much for the live stream. Remember, this is a channel, a platform. It's safe where you can come here, spend time with me, share, give your feedback, leave comments, suggestions, leave your concern. It's about sharing the truth. Remember, it's about being real, authentic. Here, we don't pretend, okay? There's too many pretenders in this world. It's about sharing the truth, bringing some laughter. I'm here. I help women rise and reclaim their power. I also help men to regain self-love because a lot of men out there that are insecure and some of them are even being abused by their female partner. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality of this life. A lot of people out there are narcissistic people, toxic and bad. So this is me, Nia. I love you very much. I'm your sister, I'm your friend, your host. Thank you for being here with me at this live stream. We talk about politics a little bit, faith, Islam, and my book, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. I should publish it within the next few months. I will be 52 according to the Gregorian calendar, this calendar that we use every day. And I am so grateful for you. I'm very glad that you stopped by, that you joined the live stream. And don't be shy. Leave your comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. We have a lot of fun here. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Au revoir. I'll see you in the next one.